What up, everybody? Today I'll be counting down the top 10 parks with the best top threes. Now, before I start, I just wanted to say every park that has at least 3 coasters was considered on this list, no matter how large or small of the coaster collection it was. And also, I put parks that have a depth of the like basically really good just good top coasters, like basically depth of the 3 coasters. Rather than just 1 or 2 outstanding roller coasters and like 1 bad coaster. Higher up on the list. I'll explain whenever we get to that. Let's get started with the honorable mentions, and this is also a worldwide list. The honorable mentions I put on here is basically this is not in any really order. This is just basically just like it's really not in any order. 6 Great America. This is probably the higher up one. This may be the number 11. I'm not sure, but this basically have Goliath, Raging Bull, and American Eagle. Goliath looks like a pretty good one of the better RMCs. Raging Bull looks like probably the worst, being hyper coaster. American Eagle probably the best wooden racing roller coaster, and that's saying a lot because for me, they're really underrated. For me, I think they're a really cool coaster type. And like back in like the 70s, they were they were getting like mass produced like all over parks everywhere, and I think they really were like the best coasters back then. Okay, so now we get the Hershey Park. I think their top coaster is Skyrush, the Intamin Hyper Coaster or Intamin Wing Coaster as Intamin calls it, and then Stormrunner, a really unique Intamin like accelerator coaster, and then Fahrenheit. And then like I haven't ridden any of those coasters; those are just what like really like, the main 3 are. But I could really see their GCI racing roller coaster, I forgot what it's called, being in the top 3, but I don't know, I'm not sure. And then and also the Great Bear too, they're being hype invert. Now we get the Holiday World. Basically I think this is a really good top 3, possibly number 11 as well. The Voyage, which I think possibly might be number 1 number 1 water roller coaster in the world, I'm not sure. Probably gonna get a chance to ride it. That Thunderbird looks like a really good B&M roller coaster. Probably top 10 B&M in North America, probably. Now you get to the Legend, which looks like it was really close between the Legend and Raven. Really interchangeable, but I just put Legend on here because the stats are better, and the overall consensus is Legend is a better ride. Now we get to SeaWorld Orlando. This is known for its really good top 3, but I really don't see it. Like I see like Manta and Mako. Those are like good rides, but Kraken, it just looks like an average, not average, a little bit over average B&M floorless coaster. I don't really think a B&M floorless coaster should be your like number 3 at a park, in my opinion. I think you need something a little bit better. But yeah, Mako Manta could be a 1-2 punch. Manta Mako, they look like good rides. Kraken looks like an average ride. Now, Leesburg. Now, they just need one more good coaster. I believe in 2018 they will get it with Valkyria. They're being a dive coaster, and you'll see this park on the list. They have. Then you have Balder, and then Leesburg Banan, which is like a Schwarzkopf coaster, I think. Or like no. It's some type of like a mine train type of roller coaster. Basically, Helix is a really cool macroized multi-launch coaster, and Balder is like a instrument prefab, which I really good think it's a really good top 2 punch. But yeah, possibly if they still had I forgot the name of it, but it was like an intimate launch coaster. If they still had that, it would possibly be on this list. I'm not sure. So then I get the Alta Towers. These are kind of like the lesser parks. Like, I just wanted to put it on here because it would probably be in the top 20 in the world. We got Nemesis, Rita, and Galactica. Used to be called Air. Pretty cool rides. B&M Invert, Intimate Launch, and B&M Flying Coaster. And you got Six Flags Over Texas, and you got New Texas Giant. That's NTG. That's what it stands for. It's like one of the best RMC hybrids out there. It was the first one also. Then you got Titan. Looks like a really cool, intense Geonova Hyper. You got Mr. Freeze, one of the best premier rides coasters. That looks like a really good top 3, possibly number 12 or 11 also in the world. Then you got then you got Busch Gardens, Tampa. That's BGT stands for. That's kind of controversial top 3. I've ridden Valraven, which is kind of like Sheikra. I've ridden Maverick, which is kind of like Cheetah Hunt, a little bit, and Verbolten's kind of like Cheetah Hunt a little bit too. And I've ridden Montu, which is like basically a beefed up version of Afterburn, which is really cool. Probably Montu is probably the best B&M invert in the world. I'm not sure, but yeah, Sheikah's like a dive coaster. Cheetah Hunt's an Intamin Blitz, but it's like family Blitz kind of. But it has an inversion, which is pretty cool. And then you got Montu. Yeah, this is a contender for number 11. Busch Gardens Tampa's top 3 is pretty cool, but basically after these top 3 coasters, it kind of like lags a little bit. People say Kumba looks really cool, but I really don't see it. It just kind of looks like an average like inverting B&M roller coaster in my opinion. And you got Busch Gardens Williamsburg, the better of the Busch parks in my opinion. Then you got Griffin. I've saw this coaster. I got a scene credit if you know what that is. Basically, you've seen the coaster before in person, but you didn't ride it. I got that credit, but I kind of shaken out. I guess I wasn't really a coaster enthusiast back then when I went to the park. And you got Apollo's Chariot. I got a scene credit for that coaster too. I've ridden Verbolten. I do believe it stands as number 3 in the park. Only coaster is better than a B&M dive coaster and then Apollo's Chariot, which is a B&M hyper coaster. Pretty cool. Now let's get on to the good stuff. Number 10 is Kings Island, which I think their best coaster in the park is Diamondback. Then Mrs. Hammer's in the Racer. I do think Manshi's number 4, but we're not talking about the number 4 coaster. Yeah, this is kind of a controversial top 3. I don't see many people having the same top 3 as me. But yeah, Diamondback and Mystic Timbers are really cool, good coasters. The Racer, it's one of those PTC like 70s coasters. It's fun. It's pretty fun. I know it's number 3 in the park. Let's see, Diamondback's like a B&M hyper coaster. It's the second best I've ridden. Only to Intimidator is a little bit better, but I've only ridden 2. I think it's one of the best hyper coasters in the world. I really think Kings Island just needs that Giga Coaster, and it'll skyrocket up this list once it gets that Giga Coaster. I really think the Giga Coaster will be the best coaster in the park. It'll knock the Racer down for number 4, and this park will skyrocket. Okay, let's get on to number 9. Number 9 is Europa Park. Now, with Silver Star, which is a B&M hyper coaster, which is pictured in the picture, it does look like a good coaster. This was like the tallest coaster in Europe for like, I think, over 10 years or just at 10 years. Then they have like Blue Fire, which is like a Mack Rise multi-launch similar to Helix. I don't think it's as good as Helix. It doesn't look as good as Helix. But it does like a fun ride and second in the park. Then you got Woda Timber Coaster, which is like a GCI, similar to Mystic Timbers. Mystic Timbers does look like probably a little bit better. I'm not sure. So yeah, let's move on to number 8. I could see them getting a Giga Coaster possibly, or something to up the collection. Now, number 8 is Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now, Magic Mountain, in my opinion, is a glorified Kings Island because Kings Island is known for its depth. Now, Six Flags Magic Mountain looks like all it is depth, in my opinion. It was really hard to choose a top 3, but this is what I came up with. X2, which is pictured, really good Aero 40 coaster. It looks like it. Then you got Twisted Colossus, which is kind of like a really god version of those PTC coasters. I think it was a PTC racing roller coaster, or it was some type of older kind of classic water roller coaster, and they converted it. It looks like a really cool ride and a really unique experience. Then you got Tatsu, which in my opinion looks like the best flying coaster in the world. It possibly is, and I really like flying coasters. The flying coaster concept is really cool in my opinion. So yeah, if they get the Giga, then I could really see it topping the list, or maybe second place, because X2's drop looks really awesome. And then kind of like the implement afterwards looks really cool too. Okay, so let's move on to number 7. Now let's move on to a really underrated park, Fuji-Q Highland. Now this park, it looks really cool. It has like a really cool top 4 in my opinion. The coaster I left off was Fujiyama, which is like their Togo hyper coaster. It was like the tallest coaster in the world till like Millennium Force came out, like the 1995 I think it came out. So yeah, 5 years the tallest coaster in the world. Pretty amazing. So yeah, their top 3, I think, the Dampa's number 1, which is pictured. Now the top hat that you see in the picture, which is behind the Ferris wheel, is now being replaced with a vertical loop, which is kind of good, kind of bad. I don't know. I kind of would rather have the top hat because I really like the sensation of a drop better than going upside down. But that's just my opinion. You got Ijinenko, which is like a glorified X2 in my opinion. It's like a lot taller. It's longer, it's faster. It's got a really cool setting in like the mountains and stuff of like China. I meant Japan. So yeah, this roller coaster looks cool. Then you got Takabisha, which is like the steepest roller coaster in the world. I think Gerstlauer makes it, or maybe Mac, I don't know. But it's similar to like Cannibal, and then like similar to like Cannibal, and then like the Eurofighters and Carnan and stuff. over in Europe. So yeah, this is a really cool top 3. I really think it's an underrated park in my opinion. Not enough people talk about it. This is definitely the best park in Asia in my opinion. Let's move on to number 6. And number 6 is Canada's Wonderland. Now this is the park that I was really talking about when I was talking about there's not really good depth in the top 3. Now Mighty Canadian Mind Bus is pretty fun. But it should have been a racing roller coaster in my opinion. That would have really upped it a little bit, but it really takes the fun out of old classic roller coasters. Because old classic roller coasters, whenever I think of them, I always think of like Thunder Road and Rebel Yell and them like just racing. But this one doesn't really race. Actually, doesn't race at all. So yeah, it kind of takes the fun of it. So I really think this has a really good top 2 punch. This could be featured in a 1-2 punch video. I don't really like to include 2 parks back to back in a video, but I don't know. So yeah, basically Leviathans looks like a really cool top 10 coaster in the world. B&M Giga Coaster, really cool, possibly better than Fury. That's an unpopular opinion. I see potential in this roller coaster. Then you got Behemoth, which looks to be maybe better than Intimidator. I'm not sure. But then you got Mighty Canadian Mind Bus that I was talking about before. I could also see Flight Deck being number 3, or like a Wild Beast. But yeah, so yeah, let's move on to number 5. I really think they should get that number 3 coaster, possibly being an invert, possibly being a flying coaster, possibly launched wing coaster, maybe a dive coaster, any of those, and it'll probably skyrocket on this list, maybe 1, 2, or 3, in my opinion. Then we get the 5. We get the Port Aventura. Number 1 I think is Shambhala, and then you got Red Force, and you got Furious Baco. Now this is kind of an underrated park. People talk about it kind of, but not really. Basically, you got Shambhala, which looks like the best hypercoaster in the world, flat out best hypercoaster in the world, in my opinion. This possibly could match, maybe even beat the Gigas, in my opinion. This roller coaster looks really awesome. Really cool setting as well and theming. And then you got Red Force, which is new for 2017, launched Giga Coaster, which also looks kind of underrated in my opinion. Kind of like a miniature Top Thrill Dragster, which I did get the credit. But yeah, it looks like number 2 in the park, pretty good. Then you got Furious Baco, which is like over 80 miles an hour, which is really fast in my opinion. That's a really fast ride. Basically, it's like a wing coaster, Intamin launch wing coaster. Its max height is not really tall. Basically, just like a lot of like stango dives and like fast-paced, low-to-ground maneuvers, similar to the second half of I-305. So yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, definitely an underrated park in my opinion. Another before talking about I-305, we got King's Dominion. Now I do think this is a top 3 park in my opinion. Now people think this is like a top 2 I-305 volcano. I really think Rebel Yell it's probably the best of those PTCs, except for maybe American Eagle on the road. But yeah, this is definitely in the top 3 best of them because it was really fun. A lot of ejected airtime in Rebel Yell. But really the ejected airtime king I-305 really takes the cake in this one. Then you got Volcano. The Blast Coaster is really unique. Intamin. Kind of an impulse, but really it's like a launch diverter roller coaster, very unique. And you got Rebel Yell, like I talked about, PTC, Wooden Racing, and you got I-305, the Intamin Giga Coaster, the latest one since well, if you don't count Real Force, the actual like full circuit, I guess, non-launched Giga Coaster, the latest one from Intamin. So yeah, now let's move on to the top 3. Number 3 I think is Carowinds. Now, you maybe call me a fanboy all you want, but I really do think Carowinds' top 3 is really good. It can be improved. That's why it's number 3. It can definitely be improved. I kind of see Fury kind of taking this a little bit further. If it wasn't Fury, maybe it was like a maybe if this park had like let's say Steel Dragon 2000 instead of Fury, it could be back a couple spots. But I really think Carowinds has a backing number 2 and number 3 in my opinion. Other than number 1 being Fury 225, the B&M Giga Coaster. You got Intimidator, the B&M Hyper Coaster. The best one, in my opinion, that I've ridden so far. I've only ridden 3. But yeah, the best one so far. Then you got Afterburn, which is... I see it kind of lagging at Afterburn. Afterburn's not the best ride, but it's not the worst ride either. It does crack my top 20, I believe. But I've really ridden like a little bit over 70 roller coasters, so I mean that's not really that impressive, but it kind of is that impressive. I don't know. So yeah, it is a really fun B&M inverted roller coaster. If they still had Thunder Road, I believe Thunder will be better than Afterburn. So they kind of like messed up deleting that roller coaster. I really think they should have kept Thunder Road and like RMC'd it. That would have been awesome. So yeah, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is, my opinion, 6's Great Adventure. This is like the top 3 that everybody talks about. Well, other than number 1, which you guys probably already know what it is by now. But yeah, other than number 1, this is the top 3 that everybody talks about, really. And this is like a really iconic picture of Kingdom El Toro. Basically, El Toro has like a lot of hype behind it. I don't know if it'll deliver. I'm probably gonna get a chance to ride it next year. But yeah, El Toro is basically the Intimate Prefab, the only one in the United States. It looks like a good ride. I could probably see it being in my number 20 if in my top 10 if I rode it right now. No other roller coasters, probably. But yeah, some people, I could see people overhyping it, I guess. But they say like it says the number 1 and number 2, and they've ridden coasters like Fury, Millennium Force, and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be overhyped. I haven't ridden it. It looks like a good ride, but I can't really say nothing because I have not ridden it. Then you got like Nitro. It looks like an okay middle of the pack B&M hyper coaster, 230 feet. You know, pretty good ride. Then you got King of Car, the tallest coaster in the world. I could see it beating Nitro, or maybe even being number 1. I don't know. I haven't ridden it, but the tallest coaster in the world used to be the fastest when it opened. It looks pretty promising in my opinion. So yeah, let's move on to number 1. Now, I'm sure everybody knows what it is. It is the one, the only Cedar Point. Now, number 1 is kind of controversial. Is Maverick. A lot of people think Millennium Force is number 1, but I think Maverick's a little bit better. You know, there's one of their there's the image pictures one of the signature Twister Horseshoe rolls on Maverick. And basically, Maverick's Intimate Blitz coaster is basically the only thrilling one. Basically, the family one's Cheetah Hunt, which I talked about earlier. Then you got Millennium Force, the first Giga coaster. It's the Intimate Giga coaster. It's a pretty good ride. It cracks my top 10. It's a good coaster. And you got Top Thrill Dragster. Used to be the tallest and fastest coaster in the world when it opened. Second tallest right now. I think it's third fastest. You know, really good ride. I only got 1 ride on it. This probably tops the list of roller coasters I want to like re-ride. I'm probably gonna make a list about that pretty soon. So yeah, this is the ultimate intimate collection in my opinion. The best of every roller coaster type they made. So yeah, there's really nothing you can do to up this coaster list, except maybe if you got like a B&M like Polar Coaster or Strata in there, then it could probably be beaten by yeah, they're not probably top of the list. But really, there's nothing. Cedar Point basically has every kind of good roller coaster, except maybe like a B&M like floorless, or not floorless, flying coaster and like an Intimate Prefab. If they get an Intimate Prefab and like flying coaster and like Polar Coaster, that could really change up the list. But yeah, for right now, all the coasters are available right now. There's really nothing you can do this. This is a pretty perfect top 3 in my opinion. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I'd just like to apologize for the lack of uploads. I've been pretty sick recently, and you probably could tell I'm sick from the very beginning. But yeah, I apologize for the lack of uploads. And you know, just tell me if I did what I did wrong, what I did right, and just tell me what some more future uploads should be. I'll talk to you guys next.